We've been talking a lot about the explosion of interest in private markets. President Trump's spending bill could have a big impact. Joining us to discuss, Ben Narrison, founder of Tenacity Venture Capital, a seed stage investment firm, which I can't believe Tenacity wasn't taken.
There's another Tenacity out of India, and sometimes people get confused. But
such a good name, but you were able to grab that. Not everybody knows about what's in the OBBB for you. The way reading the notes, this is like, I mean, is it overstating it to say it's a game changer?
I think there's a lot of awesome stuff in here. I mean, look, nobody's happy about all the amazing amount of debt we're going to create and all the cash we're going to probably have to print. But I do think there's a pretty good chance we can grow out of this. The QSBS is an example. Wow.
Tell me what that is. Yeah, it's expanded,
qualified
right?
Small business. Yeah, that is awesome. So this is like the best gift that's ever been given to investors, other than capital gains, which, by the way, was pretty much created by a venture capitalist back in the 60s, a guy named David Morgenthaler. So QSBS is where if you invest in an early stage company, particularly prior to this bill, if you invested in an early stage company that had $50 million or less in assets, and you held your stock for 5 years, you got between a 50 and 100% reduction on your capital gains. It was meant to, encourage people to invest in smaller, riskier businesses. So that's been increased, where the companies can now have up to $75 million in assets, and you can actually take half the benefit after 3 years, 75% of the benefit after 4 years, all the benefit after 5 years. I mean, that's going to be so incredible. This is great for entrepreneurs who get the treatment. It's great for investors. You want to invest in a risky company, well, at least on the other side you've got this benefit. And also, look, it's great for funds because the LPs can get this treatment.
That's amazing. I immediately think that just in terms of the way it appears, it's more very wealthy people getting more. It reminds me of like a carried interest or something. Here we go again. So you $75 million, and you're making all this money, when in fact you're promoting startups, you're promoting entrepreneurship. They create jobs. The jobs create revenue for taxes and everything. But the knee-jerk reaction is going to be here's rich people getting another tax break.
It's a silly argument. I think something like 40% of the jobs in the United States are from companies that were originally funded by venture-backed companies. The first $4 trillion company in the world, NVIDIA, was started inside a venture capital firm. It was incubated by Sutter Hill, one of the greats. I mean, these great companies, if you didn't have that company, it would be a whole different world. Like, jobs are being created, technology is being created, medicine's getting better, so many things that make our lives better. And here's the other thing. What people forget, when you go out and you invest, by the way, up to $75 million, when I invest in companies, they have, $1 million in assets. These are brand new companies, smart people. They quit their jobs. They could have made good money. Now they're working really hard, taking a shot at it. They usually don't make it. Everybody looks at the ones that work. What about all the ones that didn't? It's a beautiful offset for people that are willing to take risks to create greatness.
I've got an answer for him. It was created by Bill Clinton and expanded by Barack Obama. The QSBS. That's all you got to say.
Yeah, I qualified
people just
for
genuflect
QSBS
and nod
when I was an entrepreneur here in New York, and unfortunately I made a mistake and didn't get to take it. It cost me a lot of money.
What do you like? AI? I can't even ask that question with a straight face.
AI, it's silly. Nobody's going to touch that stuff. It'll die immediately. Of course AI is good. No, it's awesome.
Is it the fax machine? Like Krugman said that about the internet.
So, funny story. The first time I met Mike Bloomberg, which was long, long ago, I was a kid. And this was like 1992. First time was actually the only time. It was a small group of entrepreneurs. We go in, Mike, what do you think about this new thing, the internet? He said, you know what? The internet's going to be the biggest thing in the world. And I'll believe that when you show me a CB radio in your car. And I was like, what? So I think there's often a resistance to new things, and people worry about a lot of the impacts. But I believe AI is a net positive in so many ways that it's almost, look, when you create things, they always have a risk of negative impact. Fire. Okay, are you going to not harvest fire and harness it because, oh my gosh, I could burn down the house? No, there's an enormous amount of things we can do. We've evolved as human beings because we can cook protein and eat it and become stronger and smarter, bigger brains because of fire. Okay, so yeah, every once in a while things go badly.